As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 times TV shows predicted the future.
And obviously everyone's in a really great mood now because of the Cubs winning the series.
For this list, we're looking at times when fictional programs appeared to imitate a real-world event before it occurred. Which of these predictions shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20, the COVID-19 pandemic, Supernatural. Since Supernatural is so focused on mystical elements, no one expected that they would predict something realistic. But it looks like it accurately predicted the biggest news event of 2020. In one episode from season 5, Dean gets a glimpse of the world 5 years into the future. He finds that public events have been shut down and the streets are mostly empty. Why? Well, because a virus starting with the letter C has run rampant.
Croatoan pandemic reaches Australia.
I thought I smelled your stink on this Back to the Future crap.
President Palin defends bombing of Houston. Certainly a buyer's market in real estate.
Although this episode aired in 2009, a good 11 years before COVID shut the world down, Supernatural was set to end in 2020. And if that wasn't evidence enough, Dean is even told to hoard toilet paper, just as many people did at the beginning of the pandemic.
You hoard toilet paper. You understand me? Hoard it. Hoard it like it's made of gold. Because it is.
Number 19, the Ashley Madison hack, Mr. Robot.
If he's doing this to me, then he must be doing this to other people. Think about it.
Ashley Madison is a notorious dating site marketed towards married people looking to have an affair. This site only became more infamous after a group calling themselves the Impact Team acquired the personal information of the site's users in 2015. After their demands to shutter Ashley Madison were not met, the hackers released some of the data they acquired.
We're talking 10 gigabytes on the dark web, 33 million accounts, 36 million email addresses. So when we were sorting through the data, we saw 15,000 .gov.military emails.
This resulted in the site being caught in a class action lawsuit and led to several public figures being exposed. That's why viewers raised their eyebrows when an Ashley Madison hack was present in the season 1 finale of Mr. Robot.
He hacked into my private life. And then those Ashley Madison dumps happened. My wife found out about everything anyway.
While the episode aired after the hack, writer and showrunner Sam Esmail confirmed that it was written and shot before the real event occurred. Number 18, Hyde Goes to Jail, That 70s Show.
Look, Red, I gotta talk to you about something.
Arrested? For what?
Danny Masterson found great success playing lovable stoner Stephen Hyde on Fox's That 70s Show. Despite being intelligent, Hyde is an underachiever and doesn't seem to have much ambition in life. He's also very rebellious and harbors little respect for authority. Because of these traits, Hyde often declares that he will end up in jail.
So, what's it gonna be, Stephen? Prison, death, or a birthday party?
This proved correct in more ways than one. In the season 2 finale, Hyde is arrested for possession after covering for Jackie. And in real life, Masterson was charged with numerous counts of forcible assault. He was found guilty in May 2023 and could face life in prison. Number 17, The Fall of the Berlin Wall, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Tonight, NBC, the Not Bad Crowd, proudly presents the 100th Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Erected in 1961, the Berlin Wall was found in the Federal Republic of Germany and served to separate West Berlin from the Communist East. It's perhaps the most enduring symbol of the Cold War. While it was up, the popular comedy show Laugh-In did a segment where comedians would report on distant events. One bit saw Dan Rowan reporting from 1989 and claiming that the Berlin Wall was just torn down.
Berlin, 20 years from now, 1989. There was dancing in the streets today as East Germany finally tore down the Berlin Wall.
It was meant as a joke to the viewers in 1969, as there were no signs that the structure would come down. However, the comedians completely called it. The wall was figuratively broken in November 1989 and literally demolished throughout the early 90s. Number 16, the Cubs win the World Series, Parks and Recreation.
Chicago! The Big Apple!
And speaking of things that would seemingly never happen, let's talk about the Chicago Cubs. By 2016, the Cubs had the longest World Series drought in baseball history because they had not won since 1908. History was made on the night of November 2nd, 2016. That's when the Cubs beat Cleveland in Game 7 for their first title in 108 years.
The curse reversed, a historic 8-7 win in extra innings for the Chicago Cubs in what turned out to be an epic nail-biter, their first World Series title since 1908.
This historic event was predicted 1 year earlier in an episode of Parks and Recreation. During the Season 7 episode set in 2017, a character named Lucy mentions that the Cubs have recently won the series.
And obviously everyone's in a really great mood now because of the Cubs winning the series.
This piece of dialogue was just meant to be a funny dig at the long-suffering team. However, the Cubs got the last laugh. Number 15, Blinky the Three-Eyed Fish, The Simpsons. The Simpsons writers are no strangers to predicting the future, as we have a whole list solely based on times they've done so. And spoiler alert, they might even appear again on this list. This second season prediction is one you might not even know about. In the episode 2 Cars in Every Garage and 3 Eyes on Every Fish, Bart catches a three-eyed fish that's named Blinky by the media.
Many of you consider him to be a hideous genetic mutation. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. But don't take my word for it. Let's ask an actor portraying Charles Darwin what he thinks.
The deformed fish was caught near a nuclear power plant that is found to have 342 safety violations worth over $50 million. This remained a silly joke until 2011, when fishermen in Cordoba, Argentina caught a three-eyed wolffish. Sure enough, the lake was used as a dumping ground for a nuclear power plant facility's hot water.
All right, three-eyed fish. Can I have your plate, Mr. Burns?
Number 14, Facebook, Friends. This iconic sitcom came to an end in 2004, the same year that Facebook was founded in Cambridge, Massachusetts by Mark Zuckerberg and company. But Friends predicted it about 1 year earlier. The one with the memorial service aired on March 13, 2003. It sees Ross finding a social website exclusively for college students.
Hey, have you seen this? It's our new alumni website for college. It's cool. You can post messages for people, let everyone know what you're up to.
Oh, great. A faster way to tell people that I'm unemployed and childless.
Of course, similar sites like MySpace existed at the time, but they were open to the general public and not exclusive to college alumni. When Facebook launched in 2004, it was meant specifically for Harvard students, and later expanded to many universities around the country.
The rest of my attention is back at the offices of Facebook, where my colleagues and I are doing things that no one in this room, including and especially your clients, are intellectually or creatively capable of doing.
It wasn't until September 2006 that it was open to the public, and we are sure Ross jumped on it as soon as he could. Number 13, Colonel Gaddafi, Second Chance. This oft-forgotten sitcom only aired for 1 season in the 1980s. The first scene sees various dead people visiting St. Peter in his heavenly office and being judged for their actions in life. One of Peter's visitors is Libyan revolutionary Colonel Gaddafi, who shows up with multiple gunshot wounds in his chest.
You never could take a joke. Now it's time for you to be judged.
The title card informs us that this scene takes place on July 29, 2011. This dark gag came shockingly close to being 100% identical to reality. Muammar Gaddafi was shot to death by militants on October 20, 2011. Somehow, a sitcom that came and went predicted a major world event. Number 12, Google Glass, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. With the amount of futuristic technology present in the Star Trek franchise, fiction has met reality a few times. One such case can be found in Deep Space Nine and Google Glass, and while it wasn't a spot-on prediction, it is extremely close. In the show, virtual display devices are placed over characters' heads, and a little computer screen hovers over one eye.
Take us out, old man.
Aye, Captain.
One character even says that it's like having a view screen inside your brain. A few decades later, Google would unveil the Google Glass. It looked and functioned almost exactly like the show's virtual display devices.
I hope he knows what he's doing.
The question is, do we know what we're doing?
Number 11, Super Bowl 30, Quantum Leap. These writers should look into sports betting. In the episode All Americans, which aired in 1990, Al was watching Super Bowl 30, and it was mentioned that the Pittsburgh Steelers were down by 3 points.
Where have you been? I've been watching Super Bowl 30. Oh, Sam, the Steelers are down by 3.
Sure enough, the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Dallas Cowboys in Super Bowl 30, 6 years after the episode aired on television. And the kicker? In the fourth quarter of the game, the Steelers were down 20-10 when running back Bam Morris scored a touchdown, making the score 20-17. Yes, the Steelers were down by 3 in Super Bowl 30, just as Quantum Leap had said.
I'm still here, Al.
Oh, well, a man's work is never done.
Number 10. iPads. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Seeing as how Star Trek takes place in the distant future, it's not surprising to hear that it correctly predicted a few things. One of their best calls forward came with their personal access display devices. These handheld touchscreen computers were used for a variety of functions.
Come. Mr. Forge.
And you may have noticed, Personal Access Display Device shortens to PAD. Sound familiar? Computers of this magnitude were literally the stuff of science fiction in 1992. But less than 2 decades later, Apple would revolutionize the computing game with the first iPad. Released in April 2010, the real device was virtually identical to the Pad. Even their names bore startling similarities.
I went on Dad's computer, contacted some of his geek friends, told them that he was dying and his last wish was an iPad.
Number 9. The 7/7 bombings. Spooks, aka MI5. Spooks is a BBC One production that follows the lives of various MI5 officers. On July 7, 2005, conspirators bombed various areas of England, including the London Underground. Many were injured and lost their lives in the attack.
9 confirmed dead already, but it'll easily hit double figures. It's expected to be around 50. No sign either of radiation or chemicals.
Let's pull up everything we've got on possible candidates.
The Spooks Series 4 premiere followed an extremely close storyline. During the episode in question, the agents are forced to battle a group called Shining Dawn, who threaten to blow up public places like the London Underground.
Until you do so, we will detonate a bomb every 10 hours. Be warned that our aim will be maximum civilian casualties. How much carnage do you think public opinion will tolerate for the sake of one man?
While this episode aired 2 months after the attack, it was filmed months in advance. It ended up airing with an advisory, which warned viewers of the episode's similarities and coincidences. Number 8. O.J. Simpson's If I Did It, The Chris Rock Show. This feels like it must have been intentional because the similarities are just way too coincidental. In this segment, Chris Rock is showing us around the backstage of his studio.
Who can forget the night OJ came by to sell his new instructional videotape?
It's there he finds O.J. Simpson's fictional video, I Didn't Kill My Wife, but if I did, here's how I'd do it. This episode aired in 1997. 10 years later, the book If I Did It was released, which details how Simpson would have enacted the murders if he decided to kill Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. While Simpson's manager has claimed that Simpson didn't write the book, he still accepted money for its publication, indicating an acceptance of the material within.
First of all, this is very difficult for me to do this. It was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical.
Number 7. Edward Snowden, Person of Interest. Edward Snowden shocked the world in 2013 when he controversially leaked classified information regarding secret surveillance programs. The reaction was mixed. Some hailed him as a hero and a patriot, while others called him a traitor. We all would have seen this coming if we had watched Person of Interest.
There's something else going on here. I'm being set up.
In May of 2012, the episode No Good Deed aired, which told the story of an NSA security analyst who learns of a massive surveillance program, leaks the info to the press, and is subsequently hunted by the government. So, pretty much the same situation Edward Snowden found himself in. It sounds like someone knew something we didn't, because Scandal covered similar ground in an episode dated from October 2012.
Millions of Americans are being watched right now, and they have no idea.
You told your supervisors about this?
Of course I did, repeatedly, and they said they'd look into it, and then suddenly I'm being followed.
Number 6. Harvey Weinstein, 30 Rock. A brilliant satire of the television industry, 30 Rock aims a lot of vitriolic humor towards celebrities, producers, and networks. The narcissistic Jenna Maroney makes some wickedly dark jokes about the embattled and now convicted producer Harvey Weinstein. In one scene, Jenna claims that she resisted Weinstein's advances 3 out of 5 times.
Oh, please. I'm not afraid of anyone in show business. I turned down intercourse with Harvey Weinstein on no less than 3 occasions out of 5.
This episode aired in March of 2012. The following January saw the release of Florida, in which Jenna makes a reference to being put in an uncomfortable position with the producer. News of the real Weinstein's bad behavior and crimes began to come to light in October 2017.
A court in Los Angeles has sentenced Harvey Weinstein to 16 more years in prison.
Viewers noted that Jenna's comments could have been both a prediction and a way of drawing attention to a then open secret. Number 5. The Moon Landing, Star Trek. We're pretty sure that Star Trek writers are just time hoppers at this point. In a Season 1 episode titled Tomorrow is Yesterday, the Enterprise crew is sent back to the 1960s, and there's a reference to a 3-man mission to the moon leaving Cape Kennedy on Wednesday.
The first manned moonshot is scheduled for Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This episode aired in 1967. 2 years later, Apollo 11, the first manned mission to the moon, left Kennedy Space Center on Wednesday, July 16th, with 3 men on board. While details of the upcoming mission were probably big news in 1967, it's still pretty impressive. Number 4, Kevin Spacey, Family Guy. This animated sitcom has predicted several major historical and pop culture events during its run. In recent years, many have examined their dig at the now disgraced Kevin Spacey. Like Harvey Weinstein, Spacey's career spiraled in October 2017 when he was accused of some heinous crimes. This was seemingly referenced 12 years earlier when Family Guy released an episode called Don't Make Me Over.
$10, $5, $8 and I'll do it. Fine.
Stewie performs a public prank by running through a mall and claiming he's escaped from Spacey's basement. Similarly to the Weinstein incident, viewers wondered if insider knowledge of the actor's alleged crimes informed this joke.
Now, he was able to make it out without a speeding ticket, but as for the case against him that he was arraigned for in the building right behind me, that still looms large.
Number 3, President Trump, The Simpsons. When this clairvoyant writer's room isn't busy predicting the Disney-Fox merger, they're foretelling the future of American politics. Remember when the idea of Donald Trump being president of the United States was just a joke? Who knew that it would actually happen? On March 19, 2000, The Simpsons aired the episode Bart to the Future. While the young Simpson discovers that he's a deadbeat, his sister Lisa is the president of the United States. She makes a comment regarding her predecessor, President Trump.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
16 years later, he was elected the country's 45th president. Simpsons did it first indeed.
Sorry I'm late. I've been racking my brain trying to think of something to cut from the budget.
Number 2, Osama Bin Laden in Pakistan. Scrubs. Who knew that a goofy medical drama would correctly predict the location of one of the most notorious people in modern history? In the 2006 episode His Story 4, the hospital is in the midst of a political debate, and JD feels left out. The wacky janitor enters and claims that the government should be looking for Bin Laden in Pakistan.
In my opinion, we should be looking for Bin Laden in Pakistan.
Do you have that globe nearby?
While JD asks to look at a globe, some wondered if he glanced into a crystal ball. Bin Laden was found and killed in Pakistan on May 2, 2011 in his supposed home of 5+ years. This would mean that Bin Laden was allegedly living in Pakistan in 2006 as the janitor predicted.
Why do you keep a globe on your janitor cart?
In case I get lost. I'll give you a hint.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, the 9/11 attacks, The Lone Gunman. The Lone Gunman was an X-Files spinoff that aired for just 13 short episodes in 2001. And, like its parent program, it was full of mystery and intrigue. In the series premiere, which aired on March 4, 2001, the characters find themselves unraveling a plot to intentionally send a plane to collide with the World Trade Center.
Your flight's gonna make an unscheduled stop in exactly 22 minutes.
Corner of Liberty and Washington, Lower Manhattan.
World Trade Center. I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
I'll tell the flight crew.
This episode shockingly aired 6 months before the World Trade Center was actually attacked. It's hard to rewatch this episode of The Lone Gunman and not think that the people behind the show somehow saw this grim historical event coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're experiencing some technical difficulties up here.